I'm Gemma Brown, your host of the Level Up podcast. I went from that shy little girl giving secret speaking gigs to her teddies to my late 20s, a mum of 2 boys, about to marry her high school sweetheart, feeling stuck in my fashion business and honestly lost in who I was. Fast forward to 40, I'm a mentor, educator, Reiki practitioner, happy mama and wife, confident in who I am and where I'm going. Join me as I cover everything from personal growth, health, happiness, and business. I'm here to remind you that you have the power to create the life you want and step into the version of you know you can be. It's time to shoo the shoulds. It's time to stop settling for less. It's time to level up. Hello, welcome to this week's episode. I'm so happy to be here. And, I've been going through behind the scenes a little bit of a breakdown and really breaking some of those beliefs that I thought were old beliefs, and yet they do come up again, right? No matter how much work you do, you notice those little stories start to creep in. And it's been really interesting to be able to break them down and to look at the things that I'm actually stopping myself doing, and to look at the ways that those stories are playing a big part in that. So today I'm going to talk about the five of the stories that we tell ourselves that are holding us back as mums, as women in business. So let's just get straight into it. So the first belief that I want to talk about is there are so many people doing it already and they're doing it better than me. This is something that is propped up like time and time again. I mean, basically imposter syndrome, right? But right from, I would say, so my background's in fashion, FYI. So studied fashion straight out of school. And I would say that's the first time I started to be like, oh my gosh, everyone is here is creating fashion. They're designing and making things and they're all doing it better than me. That's what I felt. And I just felt like, when I looked around the world at all the designers, I felt like, oh my gosh, there's so many people creating, designing and making clothes, and they're all doing it better than me. And it was just so interesting. Especially I was like, late teens, early 20s. And I really let it get the better of me. And when I left fashion school, I started my own fashion label. I had the confidence enough to do that, but boy, those beliefs were still like rolling around in there, and it was so interesting to really go through the journey over the last 19 years of being an adult in business, to really notice that there's always going to be people out there that are doing it better than you. That's kind of the point, right? There needs to be people out there doing it better than you. So you see them and you be inspired by them. So you want it to do it too. You know that it's possible for you too. So it's so funny. And I wish that I could talk to the 20-year-old self, the 19-year-old Gemma, and say, of course, there's people out there doing it. And of course, there's people out there doing it better than you. One, I was just learning. I was at fashion school, right? But also, that's the point. Those are the people that inspired me to do it in the first place. And if they weren't out there doing it better than me, I wouldn't be inspired and excited to actually do it and go along the journey myself, right? So it's really interesting. And I think it's important to remember that they're further along than us. They're meant to be better. They're showing us the way. They're paving the way. Right? And this is map this across to all areas of your life, no matter what industry you're in. If you're a business owner, maybe it's in your mum life, maybe it's in your fitness journey, maybe it's in terms of life in general, when you sort of compare your journey to people with their houses and their homes or their relationships, whatever it is. Yes, there are people out there that have been doing it longer than you, and they're going to have been doing it better than you. Yeah, because they're what you have to follow. They're going to inspire you. They're going to give you hope and a vision and a path to follow. Of course, always pave your own way. And though, know that they're out there doing it better than you, and that's the point. Yeah. And their journeys would have looked better than yours, different than yours, sorry, completely different to yours. You can't compare it in any way, yeah? So yes, one, we're always comparing our own journeys to people that are so far along in front of us, right? Maybe they've been in business for 10, 20 years, or maybe they've studied 3 different degrees and we have only just started looking at the information, like whatever it may be. It's like, or maybe you're a mum and someone's been a mum to 6 kids and you're looking after your first baby. You know, they're supposed to be further along. They're supposed to be better. And like their journey is always going to look so incredibly different to yours, right? Our journeys is so interesting, isn't it? We expect our journeys to be safe, to be smooth, to be, smooth sailing, to be easy, to be like, especially we're sort of told if it's right, it'll be easy. If it's right, it'll go so smoothly. And it's not the case, right? We have a big vision for ourselves and we have a dream that we're wanting to create, with that be a big loving family, or maybe it's some sort of business, or whatever you're wanting to create for yourself. There's a journey, right? You can't just go, I'm going to have this and you get it the next day. There's a journey. And the point of the journey is for you to level up, for you to experience hurdles and learnings and growth along the way, to be able to strengthen you into the human that you need to be in order to actually create it and make it happen. Yeah. Whether that be a fashion label or another particular business or, fitness goals. There's going to be things along your journey and they're going to be very different than all the other journeys that you see, right? All the other people that are even if they've got a very similar goal than you, their journeys are going to be very, very different. The lessons that they need to learn are different to what you need to learn. The hurdles that they're going to need to climb over and strengthen themselves are going to be different to the ones that you need to strengthen, right? Different things are going to be put in your path, in your journey. So I think it's really, really important to remember to use those people around us that are already doing it and that are doing it better than you. Use them as inspiration. Use them as proof that you can do it too. And actually try not to compare yourself with a mindset of lack. Compare yourself in terms of, wow, this is the kind of ways that I can show up in order to create this future, this success, this outcome. Yeah. And the other thing to think about is there is always going to be thousands and thousands of people doing it out there, and it is always completely unique to you. Yeah, no matter what outcome you have, whether you're opening a cake shop or starting a coaching business or creating a family or creating a community of some kind, you're going to have your unique spin on it that is unlike anybody else. Even with there being thousands and thousands and thousands of people doing what you're doing, no one can do it like you. Yeah, so just ensure that you go out there and you do it anyway, no matter if your journey looks different and if you are doing it in a unique way, because that is absolutely the way that you're supposed to be doing it. So that is the first one. So a little reminder, there is so many people out there doing it already and they're doing it better than me. Something I've repeated myself often. Okay, so we've bunked that one. Now we're on to number 2. Number 2 is, I don't know enough. I need to learn more. I need to be more. I need more experience. Oh my gosh. So for me, I'm like a lifelong learner. Like I love learning. I am always looking at something else I can learn. In some way I can grow. Quite often it's like, oh, I'd love to do this course, or I'd love to get this certificate, or I would love to learn X, Y, and Z off this person. And while that's so, so great, it's so important to remember that you are more than enough exactly as you are today. Like you have more than enough capability and knowledge and expertise and confidence. Like you have it all inside you right now, even if you do want to learn more and do more and have more experience. You're always going to have a starting point, and that starting point can be now, exactly as you are with the knowledge that you have now, with the experience you have now, that is all part of your journey, yeah? So the fact that you feel like you don't know enough, you need to learn more and be more and have more experience, that's the journey, yeah? The knowing more and the learning more and being more and the gaining more experience is the journey. So let's stop pretending that one day we will know it all, because we won't. One day we'll just reach this imaginary finish line where we deem ourselves, today I've decided I know enough. Yeah, I have enough knowledge, I have exactly the right amount of experience, good to go. You are never, ever, ever going to feel like that. No matter how much knowledge or experience you have, you will always move the finish line. Yeah, you'll move it out and go, oh no, but I'd really like to learn this. Oh, I see I could expand my experience in this way or expand my knowledge in this way. You are never going to know everything. You are never going to have enough experience per se. Just start. And absolutely, there are always going to be areas that you want to learn more and that you want to get better at, and that's great. But don't let that stop you from starting and stop you from moving forwards today. Because we learn as we go and we get better and better as we go. So I think two things. We really need to get used to the fact that we're going to start off bad. As such, we're going to start off as we are today, and we are going to get better. We are going to get more experience as we go. We are going to learn more and be more as we go, which is great. We just got to start. So number 3 is I don't have enough time, and also I can't be a present mum and run this business. This is such a big for mums. That's why I've added that in there, because so often we put this little landmark of using our kids as the reason why we can't do something instead of making them the reason why we're doing it in the first place. Yeah. So we say, I don't have enough time, and that balance of I don't have enough time to be present with my kids and then also run a business. And you would have heard that saying. I'm pretty sure it was Rachel Hollis, that it was like, you have enough time, you're just using it doing something else. And I absolutely believe that's true. I absolutely believe it. We only have so much time, but we do have time. So saying we don't have enough is actually just false, right? The actual problem, one of the problems, is on how you're currently using your time. So the question I like to ask myself is, what's important to me in this particular season of my life, and how do I want to be spending it? What do I want to do within my life? How do I want to be present with my kids? How do I want to show up in my business? What's important to me in those different areas? And I get it. Sometimes we have responsibilities that we can't help. For example, we might have a newborn baby, or maybe we've got a sick kid, all of those sorts of things, right? For the most part, though, we have created our current situation. And it really is about being creative with your time and using your resources. And I get it. You don't want to work every time you are with your kids, do you? So don't. Pick a couple of stints per week that you will designate to actually spend time on your business, and the rest of the time you can be with them. Can you imagine if you had 2 solid times during your week that you could spend on your business uninterrupted? You would be so much more present and happy and calm when you were with your kids and your family. So I've actually put together a few ideas, especially for those mumpreneurs out there that are juggling their little ones. I get it. My boys are teenagers now, but wow, it's been a juggle as they've been growing up. So there's a few ideas that I personally use that have been really helpful for me. So one has, have your friend's kids for a play date so that she can get stuff done, and then you do a swap and you can get some stuff done while she takes care of your kids. Well, your kids go and play with hers, right? It's literally as easy as that. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. It's like swapping play dates so you can just have some time to knuckle down and get things done. Another thing is organizing carpool to kids' sports or school drop-offs and pickups. So you still get to do it a lot of the time, but you are not the person 100% of the time. That's going to give you 15-minute slots, 15-minute plus slots here, there, and everywhere that you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I've suddenly got this extra time. And other times you're going to have a really full car full of kids and it's going to be great. Yeah. Another one is get your partner or family member and friend to do bedtime once a week. Maybe Monday nights, someone else does bedtime. That'll give you an hour to designate to getting something done that is important to you. And it really is about expressing that to your loved ones, to your family members, to friends, to your partner, whoever it is. Now, the next one is so funny to me. So the next one is getting up a little bit earlier than your kids. This is something I have never mastered. Like, I'll be honest, this has just not been a me thing. But I know so many people it has worked well for. So if you love mornings and if you are capable of getting up before your kids, it's a really great time, even 30 minutes to 60 minutes before your kids wake up. That's like a premium time when your mind is clear, right? It hasn't been interrupted by all the manic chaos of the day, that you can designate to spending time for yourself, for your business, whatever is important to you, for your fitness. Yeah. But as I say, that for me has not been a factor that has worked for me, but that is something that you guys might like to try. Another one is ask neighbors, friends, grandparents to just help you and look after your kids for a little bit. This could be as simple as like a 30-minute trip to the park. I think so often when we are balancing kids and business, like guilt comes into it so strongly. And I think that we need to understand that kids are getting so much value from spending time with other people. They don't just get value from spending time with you. So if they are spending half an hour with granddad at the park, or they run over to the neighbors and play there for half an hour, and you get some work done, they're getting so much value from that. And then they're coming back and they'll get so much more value from you, feeling so proud and just calm about the fact that you've had some time to yourself and you've got some work done. So those are some little tips about that belief of I don't have enough time to be a present mum and run a business. Okay, so number 4 is, who am I to run this business and what will people think? Now, this is such an interesting one because so often we question ourselves in business, don't we? And we question our level of knowledge and our level of authority in the topic that we are running our business around, whether that be a product or a service. And so this kind of relates back to some of the other beliefs that we've been talking about, and just not feeling kind of worthy of running a business, right? Or worthy of speaking about a particular topic. I know for me, back when I finished my fashion business, and then I moved into and I studied Reiki and mindfulness and meditation. And I, in the past, had been really shy about the whole woo-woo sort of side. And I really felt self-conscious. I really felt like people were going to say, what will people think of me running this business? Like, who on earth is she? And, some people probably were thinking that, and many, many, many people did not think that at all. Like, it was so crazy. But that was definitely something that pops up to me going, who do I think I am to be running this business? And it's so interesting, right? I think that, I guess, so often when we start a business, we've been internally building it up and wanting to create it for a while. And it can come as a surprise to some of our friends and family. They were like, oh gosh, like, you're going to do this now? We weren't sure about that. Like, we didn't know you were interested in that, or we didn't know you'd been thinking about doing that. And I think it's really important to honor how we feel, and knowing that us at this moment, at our starting point, have more than enough knowledge, just like I was talking about earlier, more than enough knowledge, more than enough confidence, more than enough experience to start. And it's actually okay to start at this point and run a business at this point, and people will think what they're going to think. Yeah. So it's a really interesting belief. Okay, number 5, I can't seem to stay consistent. I'm all or nothing. Oh, how many areas of our life
are we all or nothing, right? Like we go to the gym 5 times a week or we don't go at all, or we, post on social media every day or we don't post for like a month. It can be so easy to get ourselves into this mindset of, right, I'm going to do this, and we overcommit, and then all of a sudden we're exhausted or something happens, like a life happens, right? And we get out of sync. So what I want you to ask yourself is, what is your consistency? Like, what is your consistency? Because so often, as I say, we could decide we're going to post every single day on social media, or maybe we're going to go to the gym every single morning. And if we ask ourselves, what is my consistent? What is my consistent? Could it be that I'm going to go to the gym Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday? Could I be going to post on social media 3 times a week? Could I be going to send an email to my mailing list every second week instead of every week? Like, consistency doesn't need to look like somebody else's consistency. We have such a warped sense of what consistency is and what it needs to look like for us that when we're not doing that, we think we're failing. And that couldn't be further from the truth, yeah? So what if your consistency just looks different for you in this season? What if your consistent looks different to the next person's consistent, to what your friend's doing, or to what the other mums are doing at the gym, or what the other coach is doing on social media? What if your consistent just looks different to theirs? So, for example, if you have a podcast and you're struggling to get weekly episodes out, why not make them every 2 weeks or even once a month? Could you consistently do that? And after 6 months of doing monthly episodes or doing every second week episodes, you think, gosh, I've been really consistent with that. Actually, I do feel like I have the capacity to up it to weekly now. Same with everything else, right? Maybe you do have the capacity right now to post on social media 3 times a week. So that is going to be your plan, and like scrap the every day. Yeah. 6 months time, you might have a lot more momentum. You might just be easy breezy creating content really, really quick and just have so many ideas that you have more than enough capacity to be able to post daily. It's just so often we commit to things to match what everybody else is doing, or what we're told is best to do or is normal to do. So if we get really clear on what is going to work for us, get really clear on what is going to work for you and create what your consistency looks like from there. And as I say, this could be sending out an email monthly or sending out a podcast every second week, or just posting like 2 posts on social media every week, but they are potent, just powerful posts. So it gets to be whatever works for you. And look, these are all 5 of these are stories that I've told myself in the past. And I hear them all the time in women in my life, and particularly women in business. And, they often have children in tow. Yeah. And as I say, these can be beliefs that come up in every kind of new level that I hit in my own growth and in business. And it's really great to have the awareness that when these beliefs do come up, you're like, I see you. I see you. So if you find yourself saying and feeling these things, remember to rewrite those stories. Ask yourself, is actually the truth? Actually the truth? Where did I get that belief from? When and where did I last feel that? And often the biggest way that we can move past these beliefs and stories is actually to be getting into action. Like taking action in the direction that we want to go in order to debunk some of these stories that have been holding us back. So I hope you loved today's episode, and I hope that it raised your awareness of some of the stories that you're perhaps telling yourself. Often subconsciously, we have these beliefs going around in our heads, these stories that we're telling ourselves. And please just know that you absolutely have the power to rewrite these stories. They don't have to be holding you back. And it gets to be really fun. spotting these stories and actually going, wow, that couldn't be further from the truth. Now I remember when I first told myself that story, get clear on the when and where that actually happened, and realize that you're a different person now. Yeah, that it's not the truth, and you get to create and write your own new story so that you can get into action and move forward. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next week.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Level Up podcast. I hope today's episode filled you with inspiration, taught you something you can take action on, and empowered you to step into alignment with that next level version of you. If you've enjoyed today's episode, head over to gemmabrown.co.nz to immerse yourself with even more inspiration, freebies, and more. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and I will see you next time.